18th season of the Cricket Carnival, an icon has a jersey with that number in this team. There is no more Mia magic for RCB. Pilsall plays, but Jitesh doesn't, or both plays. RCB are in a mission. Watch till the end to hear the entire discussion. IPL season number 18 is all set to begin, and this team has their iconic player wearing the 18 number jersey. That's the reason why you might see the advertisement going around 18 season with a VK18 shirt on the back. Utsav and Rohan, welcome to the show. But what about RCB once again? Thriving, desperate for an IPL title. The women's did it, but the men's are yet to do it. Virat Kohli had an opportunity to get the captainship role, but he passed the bait into somebody like a young Rajat Patidar. Thoughts on the overall squad, first of all, Utsav? What do you think? Because you desperately need a trophy now.
Yes, we are at a very desperate position to win a trophy at the moment. But I think this time we have gone a different route, taken a rise away from the big star-studded lineups to a more balanced kind of a lineup where we have invested a little more towards bowling as well. We have to see how things progress. This might backfire horribly, or this might be a great season for us. Very excited to look forward to it. And talking about captaincy, I have a feeling that Rajat Patidar is going to do good to us. He just seems like a very calm and composed character, and under pressure also he has performed time and time again. So it gives a lot of confidence getting into the season.
Absolutely. It does give you a lot of confidence. A young captain, how much will he be groomed by so many experienced players around the corner? You said about a little bit of captaincy. Rohan, let's straight away go on to the captaincy and the coaching role. Let's see who are they. It's Andy Flower, who is the head coach. It's Rajat Patidar, who is the captain of the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. I really want to add one more name out here. The think tank, the brain of somebody like Dinesh Karthik into the side. Your think thoughts, what could be the brand of cricket the Royal Challengers Bengaluru could play this season? Because I really rate this man, Dinesh Karthik, really high when it comes to using his brains in terms of cricketing knowledge. He was there in the auction table. You have more or less picked a very good squad. Thoughts once again on RCB. One department becomes loose, the other becomes strong. But I think this time around on paper, you have a very balanced side. What could be the brand of cricket RCB can play?
To begin with, I think use the word balanced. Finally, I think RCB has shown that balance. As in earlier editions, we have seen very top-heavy or very high kind of profile players were there. But I think this is much more balanced. A good mix of domestic players who are done well. And rightfully so. As you said, Dinesh Karthik, we have seen him in the com box give you subtle analogies or whatever is happening on field. He gives a detailed descriptions from a current player's point of view, which I think the audiences can relate to well. And I think the same kind of strategies he has brought into the auction table as well, wherein certain players have been picked, keeping the conditions at the Chinnaswamy in mind, as well as in certain away conditions which we may encounter. So I think that's the reason why I think it has a more balanced and a settled look, which in the earlier case of RCB it wasn't there. And not to forget someone like Rajat Patidar, we saw in the recent Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy as well. He led them beautifully. Madhya Pradesh he was representing, and he did pretty well to get into the finals. Unfortunately, against a very strong team like Mumbai. But throughout the season, I think he showed the kind of leadership skills, how we kind of groomed certain players. I think that same skill, yes, at a different level and a different stature of players he'll be dealing with.
Correct.
But rightfully, as you said, not just Dinesh Karthik, Virat Kohli will also be mentoring him on field. The backroom staff, right, led by Andy Flower. I think he's a proven coach worldwide in across all leagues. He has been a standout performer, won everything that's I think there to be won as a coach. So not to add on even our director Momo Bhatt. I think he's a damn good strategist as well. And one more guy, I think not much has been spoken about him, but someone like Omkar Salvi, the bowling coach. He was earlier with KKR and of course with the Mumbai Ranji Trophy team. I think he can groom a lot of these young bowlers that we have. Yes, there will be someone like a Bhuvneshwar Kumar who will rightfully lead the attack, but the others can acquire a lot of knowledge from these kind of domestic stalwarts who have given a lot of inputs to the young players in Mumbai or at KKR. So I think all these guys have to come together, and the brand of cricket that you said, the play bold, that motto is going on. I think not just play bold, but be a bit more smart as well. Use your resources well. Understand the conditions, and rightfully, as you said, season number 18. I think just like Smriti won with the jersey number 18, we want this 18 also to be a successful year for RCB.
Absolutely. Every single year, RCB fans just want that man, jersey number 18, to shine. But what about this season? Will the fortune change with the men in gold and black, or maybe a little bit of red flavor in it? Can they lift the trophy? Can Rajat Patidar for the first time lift the trophy, leading the side for the very first time? Made an IPL as captain as well for Rajat Patidar. Has a wonderful skill, brilliant batter. He will don number 3 as well for sure. What about the squad for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru? I said it before, balanced one. Let's take a look into it in depth. Utsav, talking about the squad, as I said, a lot of departments are covered, more or less the all-rounders department. So many firepower down the order, hard-hitting batters. You have Tim David, you have Romario Shepherd, muscle man out there. But this one man at the top of the order, always a consistent man, Virat Kohli, scored 741 runs last season around with a striker of 154. Do you think he will be Mr. Consistent yet again if RCB has to succeed this season?
He has always been the most consistent one, and I guess it has only been one season in the last 14-15 years when he did not hit the 300 run mark. That came in 2022, I guess. That was probably the worst season for RCB when it comes to the big three performing. Neither of Maxwell, Faf, or Virat was performing that season along with Siraj. But after that, apart from that, Virat Kohli has been the greatest player of RCB ever, consistently piling up runs and trying to get the team over the line.
Correct.
And thankfully, after the setback that happened after 2016, the 3 years where we were languishing at the bottom of the table, the team has started to do better. For the last 5-6 years, we have managed to find ourselves in the top 4 positions, not going all the way, not even reaching the finals in any of the situations, but at least we have found some consistency, some sort of a stability, some balance. And if you look at this squad, you get to see more bowling options than batting, which is a positive sign, I guess, when you have to play in a stadium like M. Chinnaswamy.
Absolutely, it is something a positive sign. But looking into the all-rounder section, Rohan, now you have the likes of Liam Livingston, Krunal Pandya, Swapnil Singh, Tim David, Romario Shepherd, so many big names, Manoj Bandage, Jacob Bethel. But it's always a risk when you have English players in your squad, starting with Harry Brook, who has already pulled out of the IPL. Do you think something can happen with the likes of Jacob Bethel? He's also suffering from an injury. Liam Livingston is on the other hand. They might have just pulled out. What's the concern out there? That might just spoil your balance in your squad.
Always a concern with English players. Luckily, no smog in Bengaluru. So I think that should not be an excuse for this, unless any injuries or national fixtures come through in the coming couple of seasons. I think that'll be the only drawback. But since, as you mentioned, these guys, Bethel, and I think they're all formats player for England. So in case a test series comes around or a T20 series, I think that's where you may have to make do with some other alternates. But Livingston, I think we know the kind of powerhouse he is. He can win you games at the back half of the game easily. And not to forget those slidey spinners that he is capable of, and picking you some vital wickets during the middle overs, where generally the T20 game is at a balance. And if you can win that particular phase, you can always dictate terms at the back half as well. Tim David is someone whom I'm always excited. Yes, he was in a brief time with RCB, but then in Mumbai Colors, I think was fantastic to pick. And then again, he went into the Australian team and showed his classes there. So I think exciting times with this powerhouse all-rounders. And great pick was Romario Shepherd. I think it was a very cheap buy. That guy, sometimes the West Indians, everyone loves them, and be it from a Chris Gale or Kieran Pollard, Sunil Narayan, I think all these guys bring that flair into that competition. And Romario Shepherd, on his day, can win any games in this bat.
Absolutely.
Bowling is a bit iffy at times, not consistent, but his batting will be something that can be enjoyed at a ground like Chinnaswamy, where those big hits are pretty much norm for the day.
Absolutely true that, Anne. But you have 8 overseas. Overseas will be a concern to pick in this side. But Utsav, if you look into your 2 swing bowlers, because RCB always highly rate one bowler, that is Josh Hazelwood. He has 67 T20 wickets to his name. On the other hand, you've got an experienced campaigner like Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who has 90 T20 wickets to his name. There are many others. You've retained Yash Dayal. He's another candidate as well. But what about, can you somehow manage to fit in these 2 swing bowlers up top? Then you can just guarantee you wickets, Hazelwood and Bhuvi. But you need to keep in mind, you just have 8 overseas, out of which you can pick 4. Can you consider that and maybe think of either of Hazelwood and Nuwan Thusara?
I think with Josh Hazelwood, how much ever we want him to be in the side, I'm not very sure about his availability throughout the season. Probably he will be available from the second half of the season, and hopefully we do not go in the same run-off form the way we did in the last season, losing 7 matches and then suddenly starting to win. I would want a little bit more consistency. You can lose a couple of matches in between, but do not have like extremely polar opposite runs. Talking about new ball swing bowling, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar in the last 1 year or so has been phenomenal with the new ball in the domestic circuit as well. I think it took 8 wickets when he was playing Ranji Trophy. He just played 1 game and took 8 wickets there. Apart from that, even in the UP T20 league, he was not giving runs at all. 4 overs, 5 runs, 4 overs, 6 runs. Unbelievable new ball spells. But the problem lied when he came out to bowl with the ball getting old, like especially the death overs. The same problem had existed even when he was playing for India. The same problem we might be facing when he plays in the IPL. That he might be very ineffective with the old ball. So I think it is very important to finish Bhuvaneshwar Kumar up top. Josh Hazelwood can be bowling 2 overs up front, and maybe we can take a punt on him, giving him 2 overs at the fag end at the death overs. Maybe we can, in the first half we will be having Nuwan Tushara, so I guess 2 overs of Nuwan Tushara at the death is a no-brainer. And I think Yash Dayal will have to take a lot of responsibility this season.
Just to add on, Utsav, someone like Nuwan Tushar can be your addition instead of Josh Hazelwood because of this new ball,
Yeah,
and keep Yash Dayal ahead in your opening power play, because he can be your new spearhead, because he has done well and he's a retained player as well for the right amount, though unlucky not to play a lot. But being a youngster and inexperienced guy ahead of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Yash Dayal can be your lead attack, and Nuwan Tushara can be the go-to guy at the death overs as well. And we have seen him in the other leagues. He can be good up front with the new ball as well. So I think gives you two bases covered.
I think it is pretty much confirmed that we will not have the services of Josh Hazelwood in the first half of the season. And I guess Nuwan Tushara has to come in that situation, because we just have one other option, which is Lungi and Gidi, and I honestly do not see him as the first choice option. So if Nuwan Tushara is there, he is going to cover the 2 overs of death. Maybe we can take more risk with Yash Dayal instead of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who just seems to be at the later end of his career and probably will not give as
agreed.
much give as possible.
And the pace
Agreed,
has
because
reduced as well a bit.
yeah, his pace has definitely reduced because of the age. But 7.56 is the IPL economy with 181 wickets. So he has the experience. But Rohan, additionally, you said about Yash Dayal, Utsav said about Bhuvi. How much will you miss one man? Because his heart, his soul was just for Royal Challengers Bengaluru. No more Mia Magic into the side.
Huge miss, man. I know he was pretty much looking forward to in case he was retained, or else at least the right to match, which I think lots of fans were expecting. But just the
Exactly.
dynamics of the auction. Good luck to GT with respect to Mia Magic. I think they got him for instead of Shami. But it'll be a good tussle, to see when these two teams match. How will Siraj go about it? But
And
he was
similarly,
one guy
also
who,
adding to your point, because how much important is the IPL for Siraj? Because he might feel that has been dropped from this Champions Trophy side, so he was not prioritized ahead of somebody like Harshit Rana. So how much of a redemption or he wants to prove a point in the upcoming India Premier League?
huge, because going forward we'll have the English Test series as well. So I think if due respect to Jassi and Shami, we're not sure about their injuries and the workload that they can manage. So someone like a Siraj will have to step up as well. So I think keeping all these factors, I think his workload also needs to be seen. He'll be missed definitely, but others have got a job, and let's see how they can come and step into his shoes.
I had a counterpoint. It's a no-brainer that Mohammad Siraj used to give more than 100% for the side. But do you think it is going to be a huge missing, considering consistency is not something we usually associate with Mohammad Siraj. Like we can say that before, like pre-COVID, Mohammad Siraj we are not even taking that into account because he was extremely poor back then. But after that, he gained some form in the COVID season. But then in 2021, he had an off year.
I
In
think that
2022, he
England
had an
Test
off year.
series was the one which was make or break for Mohammad Siraj. That gave him the confidence,
Yeah,
and then he turned out to be a lead
yeah,
bowler alongside Bumrah and Shami, which we saw in 2023
yeah.
World Cup. I agree to your point. 2024, he did have an average season, but I think his heart and soul, just like we say for KKR, Andrew Russell, Sunil Narine, heart and soul is Kolkata Knight Riders. Similarly, we might say heart and soul for Virat Kohli and Mohammad Siraj is RCB. That's the reason why I thought could have gone, but that's what Rohan is saying. And we expected them to go for the right to match card. We got an explanation later on that it was out of their budget. Dinesh Karthik also thought about that. Then they had backup plans of somebody like Rasik Dar. I think that's a very, very good buy. We'll come to it. But Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Yash Dayal was retained. I think these picks are really, really good. But we'll come discussing about what about the predicted 11, the players to watch out for. What about the fixtures for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru? And this is what the fixtures look like. You're playing the opening game of the season. That's a huge game at the iconic Eden Gardens after the opening ceremony. RCB versus KKR. Always KKR loves facing RCB at the iconic Chinnaswamy or at the Eden Gardens. They know it's guaranteed 2 points. Will the results change this time around, Utsav? But also, if you look into the 7 away games and the 7 home games, if you look into 2 day games, I can see. But what about what are the games you're confidently saying that I can think that RCB can pick 2 points and that can they make it to the playoffs?
First of all, talking about the season opener, I think we have a decent record at season openers. We did not win the last one, but the one before that we had been winning. I think the records are against us. We have not been a good side at Eden Gardens or even at Chinnaswamy against KKR because they come out a different side. Especially because I would give credits to Mr. Gautam Gambhir, who is not a
Absolutely.
part of this setup. So I think that is the point which gives us an edge, that he's no longer part of the side. And also from the 2024 KKR, I think that team has downgraded a bit. So I think we definitely have a chance. The teams have rebuilt itself. KKR have most of their core. We are a completely new side. We are just the only thing that is keeping us away are the stats of the name RCB. The players are all different. So you never know what is going to happen. And fingers crossed, I have a very positive feeling about the first encounter. And moving on from the first RCB KKR match, which I definitely think that we might just get 2 points out of and break the jinx
Okay.
of not beating KKR.
Okay.
Apart from that, we play half of our games at M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, and we
Yeah.
have to be very nitpicky of which one can we win, can we squeeze in a victory here and there, and that is going to happen again. So talking about
Because
the
I see that first 4 games you have GT, DC, Punjab,
yeah,
and RR, which are possibly you can say 8 points to your name. But you end
no,
your home games with 3 big guns: Chennai Super Kings, Sunrisers Hyderabad, and the Kolkata Knight Riders. Rohan, 3 huge games. Can you be confident and say your Red Army, your Chinnaswamy RCB Army, can they be as loud as possible and get you 6 more points? Because I think you were fortunate enough that Dhoni hit a 6 out of the stadium, you could get a new ball.
Yeah, thanks to that. And I think a lot of CSK fans will also not forgive us for that, because the celebrations that
I just
happened later.
I want to add one thing, that if even if MS Dhoni had hit that six, we would have still won the match. We
Why?
had
We would
Why?
have
won the
got the
match.
same ball.
We would
But
have
it would have
gotten
been the
out
same
of the
ball.
qualification. Yeah, we would have gotten out of the playoffs, but we had still won the game.
You would have, you would have won the game, but you would have not made it to the playoffs. I think that's a loss for the RCB fans, though.
Yeah.
Yes, Rohan.
But to begin with, Pritham, if you see the first 4 games are against real top quality teams, be it KKR, CSK, I think there's GT in the middle at home, and then Mumbai. So out of the
Yeah.
first 4, 3 are against the top teams of this IPL. So I think it will not be a easy start for us to begin with. But again, ending it also against some quality teams at home, I think will be equally tough. As an RCB fan, yes, you hope certain things happen, but marquee team always will be CSK. If RCB can kind of put across CSK, that gives a different high, not just to the team but to the fans as well. If that game goes our way more than the KKR game, I know it's so-called rivalry and all, but CSK is a different rivalry for any
Absolutely.
RCB.
It's always a different rivalry. But do you stick to your mantra like you always have been saying, be it for international cricket or be it for domestic, or be it for league stages? If you have to be the best, you need to beat the best?
Definitely. So I think that's what I meant. If you beat someone like a CSK at their home, that's a different fillip altogether for this team, because end of the day, it's still a new bunch of players who have gotten together. So these kind of wins kind of gives you that little extra push and the momentum to go a long way within the tournament.
Absolutely. It will definitely give you a lot of momentum, a lot of belief that you can beat the other big teams. This is done when we are done with the fixtures. What about the SWOT analysis? Now let's move in depth about the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. As per the 2 guests, they're saying it's new looking RCB, though the name still remains RCB. Here's the SWOT analysis. Talking about the SWOT analysis, the strength of RCB rise in really a lot of things, but this is a very balanced side. I really want to know from you, Rohan, what according to you could be the strength of RCB this season?
I think the engine room, the middle order power guns that I just mentioned, starting from a Livingston, Jacob Bethel, if he's able to fit in there. Tim David is always a gun player at the finishing end. And also Romario Shepherd. I'll add on someone like Krunal Pandya as well, because
Absolutely.
he has had a great DY Patil recently. He was the man of the tournament also, just for information. And contributes a bit with his left arm spinners as well. And he's a kind of a player who doesn't give up so easily, always does his bit. And in conditions like Chinnaswamy, I think he has a very good economy rate as well. And not to forget, gives in those extra wickets as when most required. So I think all these guys, if they power in, I think it will be a solid performance, because the top order is always heavy, be it Virat Kohli, Phil Salt, or even Rajat Patidar. So I think if these guys can complement them, I think RCB will always be a formidable team, not just a top heavy, but a completely balanced team that we're looking at. So I think this will be our key strength this season.
True that, but when you said about Kunal Pandya's experience, he definitely has nearly about 1,650 runs in IPL cricket. He mainly played for the Mumbai Indians, but 132 strike rate with an economy of 7.37 if he rolls him over, expecting him to bowl at least a couple of overs. Can he be the floater, which India team has an Akshar Patel in the side? Can he be your floater, using him as the left-hand batter if required up the order?
Yes, that was what I was coming to, because we don't have a lefty in the top order where opposition can give you with some left arm spinners or a wrist spinner who can come and trouble your guys and kind of be the matchup that will be working against us. A left-hander in there like Krunal Pandya, just like what Akshar did for Team India. He can disrupt that rhythm and give you a few runs here and there and build a partnership, which at times can be the T20 setup where you may just lose that momentum. So Krunal is a guy who is pretty smart. He is experienced and has been there for Mumbai, as you rightly said, giving them key runs against quality attacks like a Chennai, where he has kind of upped this game and even went on to play for Team India. So I think someone like Krunal or even Jacob Bethel, I know he's pretty raw at the IPL level, but if he can come in through, there's someone like a Devdutt Padikkal also. I'm not sure if he'll be a straight away starter, but a left-handed option in that top order, if you can fit someone in, if they can play that role consistently throughout the season, I think it'll be a blessing in disguise for us.
Absolutely. Surely it will be a blessing in disguise for you, but a team always has a strength. They always do definitely have a weakness. And RCB, known for their mistakes, they definitely will have a weakness in this side, though, no matter if it's as balanced as it looks like. Utsav, over to you. Do you see any weakness in this RCB squad?
Yeah, I mean, every time you talk about RCB, ever since UC Chahal has left, the only problem that you see are the biggest
Oh
problem.
yes.
Front line spinners, the leg spinners. Do you have a leg spinner this time around? You have taken a punt on Suyash Sharma once again. He looked really good when he played for KKR. He got the wickets of Virat once. He got the wicket of Dhoni once. But was he good enough? Because if he was good enough, wouldn't he be given an opportunity, like given more of an opportunity for KKR? So you have taken a punt on him, just like you took a punt on Yuzvendra Chahal when he was not
Yep.
getting enough chances in Mumbai Indians. That worked out pretty well for you, but this is definitely going to be a weakness. Will Surya Sharma work out? Because if he does, the next 5 years of leg spinner are sorted. But if
Absolutely.
it
If he
doesn't,
does, then you're looking into the future.
yeah,
101% agree. Yes, Rohan, over to you.
No, also to add on, Suyash played for KKR where he had a backing of some like a Sunil Narayan and Chakravarti.
Absolutely.
And
Varun
after
Chakravarti.
their spells, any opposition would say, let's target this youngster. So that's where he had a chance to pick up wickets. Here, he doesn't having that kind of a complementary spin attack. He himself sometimes may have
He will
to.
rely on someone like Kunal Pandya and Liam Livingston on the other end.
But again, they are not your first choice kind of spinner. They're just part timers at times, or at best, batsmen who can bowl a little bit. So I think
Correct.
Suyash Sharma. Evolution will be a real test for him, especially bowling in conditions like Chinnaswamy. If he can come up just the way Yuzi Chahal kind of developed, I think that will be a great thing, not just for RCB, but for Indian cricket, because he has that quickish leg spinners, which can be troublesome in this
Yep.
day and age of modern cricket. Such leg spinners or wrist spinners are high in demand and they can pick wickets out of nowhere. So if Sharma kind of delivers at this particular venue, I think nothing like that for RCB. It will be a great pick indeed.
But I agree with what Utsav said that they have taken a punt. I'll take this question to you, Utsav itself. You said RCB has taken a punt and taken Suyash Sharma. If you talk about Suyash Sharma when he played for KKR, 10 wickets he took in the IPL so far. Economy in that kind of a wicket in KKR, though it's a batting paradise, is 12.75. And in Chinnaswamy Stadium, it's also a batting paradise. I don't expect anything less, if not more.
that's the problem. These days, 250 isn't even the par code. You know, even Punjab chased it against KKR. So I think Suyash might just be the biggest problem that we might be facing this season because yes, we definitely have a chance of bringing up another Yuzvendra Chahal, but those are like one in a million kind of situations. We see leg spinners coming into the IPL having a decent good first season and then just getting rubbed off. Say a Mayank Markande or a Rahul Chahar who had great first seasons for Mumbai Indians, but then later on were like literally pushovers in the respective teams that they played. With all due respect, but uh, you know we have seen it time and time again that leg spinners have one good half decent season and then
Correct.
they are no longer a main core of the team. And M. Chinnaswamy for a leg spinner taking a punt on him might just be the biggest risk that RCB has taken for a long time.
Absolutely. It could be a massive risk, but what about the opportunity? What could be the possible opportunity you look into this side, Rohan, for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru?
Opportunity, I think, in big time will be moving on from the leadership. Yes, we had a Virat Kohli for so
Okay.
long. Faf did a pretty good job for the seasons that he had, but now straight away, someone like Rajat Patidar. Yes, he had a very good stellar domestic leadership this season. But again, leading a franchise with so much of pressure and expectation from a franchise like RCB and the fans so demanding, in case certain things don't go well, it will be a tough job on him because. Again, the experience will be
He will face the
something
heat,
that he
definitely.
Oh, 100%. You know, not to mention, that's what I said. In those first 3-4 games against the top teams, if he can deliver, not just with the bat, but in the field, how he handles the situations, just how he communicates within the big guns group, I think that's where a real test of Rajat Patidar's leadership will come to. And just as a personality within the dressing room, yes, he has the backing of the senior players and the coaching staff. But at the end of the day, on-field decisions have to come from the captain alone. And how he takes it. Yes, it's an opportunity. He may just think there's nothing to lose. The mantra of play bold. Let's see how we can imbibe that motto within his captaincy because it's a high risk thing. If it comes off, as Utsav said, certain things like a Suyash Sharma as a leggy, you need a good captain to see how a leg spinner performs. So those kind of are his key areas where it will really define his captaincy skill is what I feel. So Rajat Patidar, huge opportunity. Best wishes to him, but again, lots of spotlight will be on him.
Absolutely huge opportunity for somebody like Rajat Patidar. If he works it out, if he gets going in the first few games, he will get a lot of praise. If he doesn't, God helps him, to be honest. But talking about the threat, what do you think about the threat for Utsav or for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru?
Maybe not the threat, maybe the threat that the opposition can be facing is the opening partnership of Virat Kohli and Philip Salt. Even though Faf du Plessis was doing a really good job, but the opening pair of Philip Salt and Virat Kohli is something that all of the teams need to be really looking forward to. We have had humongous names in the opening positions even before this. We have had Chris Gayle, we have had Tilakratne Dilshan. Virat Kohli has been there, forever. But this time around, I think Philip Salt is that kind of player who does not come up with that kind of a big name pressure that
Yep.
someone like Chris Gayle used to come out with. He is not the person who is expected to score 100, every single time he just gets going. And he's someone who does not have to take 15, 20 balls in the power play to get going. Phil Salt is someone who has batted with a 180 strike rate in the last IPL. And I think that has to, if not amplify, that thing has to continue at least. He has an average of 30 with a strike rate of 180, and I'm very much okay with that at Chinnaswamy.
Absolutely true that, because he scored 435 runs last season with an average with a strike rate of 182, and what a way for him, what an opportunity for him, because he's going to play the first game at the same stadium where he played the previous season at Eden Gardens. Right. He goes bonkers from ball one, and that's where I think the opponents need to fear a lot. I must tell you, if he and Virat Kohli get going in the power play, I think 60, 70 maybe, 70 or 80 maybe can be possible if you're batting at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. We are done with the SWOT analysis. What about the team strategies? And this is what the questions I have for you guys. Rohan, over to you when I'm asking the first question. You have Nuwan Thusara, you have Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you have Riyaz Dayal, 3 quality bowlers. But what about who are your 2 bowlers you will definitely bank on in your death overs? If I talk about death overs, it's 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. 4 overs. Who are your bowlers?
The 19th has always been a nightmare for everyone, Pritham. So I think if Bhuvi can do it well, because he's had a very tough kind of endurance, what has happened to him. So I think you want somebody else, like a Tushara has done well. As Utsa had said, at the starting stages of the tournament, Hazelwood's availability may not be so much. If Tushara can come in and give him that cushion, so the 20th over, either Bhuvi or if Yash Dayal can give you that death overs, I think that will be more bankable option. But definitely in the power play, Bhuvi, Yash and Tushara can do a decent job, adding on even someone like Krunal Pandya with a few spin overs here and there. But these are my bankers. I want these guys because the experience. Yes, they may go odd over here and there, but end of the day, even a couple of dot balls or wicket at that particular crucial time, I think that's what turns game around. So I'll go on their experience and hope they deliver at the right time.
Yeah, I would like to counter that with a small point over there. Like, I would like to take you back to 2022 when Bhuvneshwar was in the India setup, and we used to play the bilaterals. We had the Asia Cup, and one thing that we was a kind of a worry for us every single game. That 19th over was the biggest run leaking point of the game, and that was bowled by Bhuvneshwar Kumar every single time. So 2022 was the last time he played for India, and this was his biggest problem. 2023, he was not a part. He was playing a little bit of domestic.
If I'm not mistaken, was 2022 Adelaide, the World Cup semi-final, was his last appearance?
Yes. And then he played the Ranji Trophy, which does not have death overs. So that is not a thing to be debated about. But when he played the UP T20 League, he would give a few runs away in the 19th and 20th over, and so he did not play the Syed Mushtaq Ali. So I think that is something that he has not yet found a solution to. What is your take on that?
Absolutely, yeah, that is absolutely true. But when it comes to experience, he has the experience. But if he leaks runs, you have enough options. You said about Nuwan Thusara or Rohan. You said about Yash Dayal. At the beginning, we said about maybe you can go for Josh Hazelwood as well. Any other pointers you mentioned?
No, as I said, if you can pick up a wicket because what he has endured in the past, because he has got hit, I think he must have found ways how not to get hit also. So I think that experience kind of counts for you as an experienced bowler. So I feel he can get out of those rut in these kind of games in the current scenario, because he has lost pace. I think he'll come up with this off cutters or the knuckle ball, which has pretty much has good control of. So this is a chance for him to pick up wickets, because people will definitely go after him. And if you pick up a wicket at that particular time, you're always back into the game.
Absolutely. In T20 cricket, wickets is very important, no matter how much you can restrict runs. What about the second strategy? Utsav, this is for you. Talks always goes around when King Kohli performs, he plays the anchor role. But what would be your ideal strike rate for Virat Kohli? Does he continue to play the anchor role and the others float around in the corner? Or do you think that Virat Kohli should be the aggressor at the top of the order and doesn't care about keeping his wicket at bat deep? Because he has a strike rate of 154 last season, overall strike rate of 131 in IPL. Over to you now.
He had a strike rate of 154, and one new thing that we saw in his batting is that he had started to hit sixes. He brought out the slog sweep and started batting.
Exactly, slog sweep, the sweep shots. We never saw that.
Yeah, and that is because the last IPL season, the first half of it was probably the most the most strike rate talks that we have ever heard of on about his batting, with Harsha Bhogle talking about it, Sunil Gavaskar talking about it, which is true to some extent, that there were innings that he was a bit too slow. And I think with the impact player rule coming in, the batting has gotten incredibly longer for a 120 ball game, and I think you need to take up the game a little more. And I think the game has moved past 130 strike rate. Correct. Considering that IPL now has over 250 first innings totals, once in every 3 games these days. So I think 150 strike rate is par, even if you are anchoring. And if you're not anchoring, then 170, 180 should be your at least a par strike rate. So yes, there is a lot of firepower in the batting lineup, and that gives you additional job freedom to go and hit harder. Yeah, exactly. And you just can't get into the rut of just not being able to break free from the shackles of spirits. Those things need to stop.
Absolutely, that
But also, don't you
definitely.
think sometimes thinking of the strike rate, you may just lose your momentum and the shape and may get down in a rut as well? Because if you start attacking without really getting set, at least at the start of the innings, because we know once Virat gets in, not just an anchor, I think he can play a long innings as well, whom players around him can play the
Correct.
aggressive role. So I think someone like a Virat being there kind of affects the opposition's plan as well. So don't you think that can be a bit of a balance as well?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
but that
that
has been going around for forever. I think that has been our prime strategy for the longest of times. And even in the last season, Virat Kohli had hit a century against Rajasthan Royals, and we did not end up on the winning side. Probably because George Hazelwood hit.
that
Sorry,
was the
George Hazelwood hit a
question
century.
about
Had a
strike
higher
rate.
strike rate. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that is when the strike rate talks began. And thankfully, I guess the second game when we played against Sunrisers Hyderabad, he scored a 50 or 40 deliveries, which was criminally slow, I would say. But thankfully, Swapnil Singh came in. He took the early wicket with an LBW of probably Aiden Markram, and then things got going, and then we ended up winning the match. And that game did not count as one of the Virat Kohli's slowest innings. And had we lost that game, there would be incredible, huge amounts of criticism. And now talking about the thing that we might get stuck in a rut, and I just think that. Even after not getting stuck in a rut, scoring a 160, 170 is not going to be enough. Even if you are playing at Eden Gardens or probably Chidambaram or
Yeah.
Ekana or Savai Mansingh, which are not known for such high scoring targets.
Absolutely.
Still, I
So
think.
Utsav says he wants Virat Kohli to go bonkers, while on the other end, Rohan says you need to be the anchor while the others plays around. So counter punch going on here and there. But what about the third strategy? Over to you, Rohan. And there it is. It's been always emotional for RCB. No Mia Magic, as we rightly mentioned before. Who are your two confidently experienced, you said, Tushara and etc. But still, be it in the first innings, the second innings, this is the players Rajat Patidar without fear will hand over the ball.
See, because that's where the game pretty much decides who's going to win. The death overs, in case you have to defend. How do you do it? Wide yorkers, or slow ones, or slow short ones. I think Bhuvi will still be my man to do it. Nuwan Toshara is pretty good. But someone like a Romario Shepherd, at times he goes that around the wicket, wide of
Around
the
the wicket
field,
and wide Yorkers, yeah.
outside off stump. I think these kind of strategies is what RCB needs. Also, based on the opposition and the conditions they encounter, I think the right kind of bowlers we need to rotate. Certain times the new ball will be much more incisive. That's where a Bhuvi or Hazelwood will be more wicket taking ability. Whereas sometimes if it's a flatter pitch, back off is where your real match winners have to be. So there are Tushara or even Yash Dayal, because he has those back of the hand slow ones, and also
Correct.
the left arm angle at times. He can go that wide off some Yorkers as well. So I think you can set a field for that. End of the day, what you need to do is not to make your skipper look stupid. You want to bowl according to a field and at least make sure one side of the ground is protected and do the right thing. So that's where experience counts in, and the right strategy. That's where, for me, a Bhuvi, a Tushara, a Yash Dayal, and maybe in case that sometimes a Romario Shepherd can step in into the job.
Okay, you've given 4 quality names, and it's enough options for somebody like Rajat Patidar to think about his death overs. Fair enough. What about the players to watch out for? 2 names have been recommended by Utsav, 2 names have been recommended by Rohan, and I've given my X factor. Here it is. So here are the 2 names Rohan has first of all mentioned. You've gone with Kunal Pandya, and you've also mentioned about Bhuvaneshwar Kumar are your 2 players to watch out for. Can I have the reasons behind that, please?
Krunal, because he's an all-rounder and he has a good record at the Chinnaswamy, playing either for LSG or even the Mumbai Indians, and being that left-hander option gives you that kind of X factor within that kind of floating role. And not to mention a recent DY Patil, he was the player of the tournament among runs, among wickets, and also has a bit of leadership skill. He did pretty well for Baroda as well. So I think all these factors, I think Krunal, just like his brother Hardik, has kind of turned a new leaf. I hope the Pandya brothers have a very good season, and Krunal also should do pretty well for me. And Bhuvi, again, because of experience, the kind of love that we do see, even though he was at SRH or anywhere, even someone like EBD, he kept his nerves well and delivered at the death. So I think that's where Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, I'm not knowing if whether he'll come back to an Indian team or not, but just for the amount of hard work that he has put in, you want these kind of nice guys to come up trumps against anyone. So I think that's the reason for me to pick someone like Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
I think India's squad is full now in terms of dead bowlers or T20 bowlers. But Utsav, you have named your 2 players to watch out for. You've gone for Rajat Patidar and Nuwan Thusara, your 2 players to watch out for. Both of you have not gone for King Kohli. May I know the reason behind that, please?
I mean, it is not a X factor or player to watch out for. It is a no-brainer that if RCB is coming out to play, Virat Kohli has to be the biggest shot that we have at winning a game. And talking about, I totally agree with the two names that Rohan Bhai has put out, especially Krunal Pandya, our Gujarati all-rounder. Just like Delhi have one, Mumbai has one. Every team has a Gujarati all-rounder, and so is Krunal Pandya for us. My two names are Rajat Patidar, the captain. He has proven time and time again that under pressure he is the guy to go for. He has been the backbone of the Madhya Pradesh side in the SMAT as well. He had been smacking the bowlers around at Chinnaswamy Stadium over the years, and even in the Syed Mushtaq Ali this time around. His captaincy was pretty good in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, and just on the basis of that SMAT season that he has gone through, and I think most of the RCB fans are pretty confident about his captaincy tenure. Also going to be pretty good in the guidance of Virat Kohli himself. The other name that I took was Nuwan Thushara. The reason being that we have seen what Lassan Malinga has done over the years in the IPL. We have seen what his other disciple Mathisha Pathirana has done for CSK over the years. Probably we also needed something similar. I had always dreamt of having Lassit Malinga in RCB. Couldn't fulfill that dream. Probably Nuwan Thushara will be the person who can fulfill.
And if he does, that will also add you that next 5 years it's sorted in terms of your dead bowling.
Definitely.
One of your overs is dead bowling, just like you mentioned about Suya Sharma. So you have given your two players to watch out for. I have given my X factor, a name which has not been recommended so far. I asked about the dead bowlers. Rasik Dar, I think that has been a steal from the Delhi Capitals in the IPL auction because he can be your impact player. I think his wide Yorkers, death bowling last season was a turnaround for the Delhi Capitals, and that's the reason why I think if you need a dead bowler alongside Bhuvi, Tushara, Bhuvi, Yas Dayal, and then you have Romario Shafar, I think Rasik Dar could be your man because if you're bowling second in the death overs, impact player, no brainer should be a Rasik Dar, isn't it, Ruhan?
As you rightly said, it gives you that extra option and kind of an unknown entity for certain teams as well. So if he can be played at the right time against the right opposition as an impact player, as you said, the teams may not be so well prepared for him, and he can just win you a game out of nowhere.
Absolutely. RCB desperately needs good quality bowlers. And you said about Rasik Dar, you previously said about Tusara. If these players step up, then RCB will do a wonderful job to retain them and keep a core for the upcoming seasons. What about the predicted playing 11? This is where I think there might be some debates. Ruhan, over to you. This is the predicted playing 11 of RCB. RCB's predicted 11. I think the openers do not have any say, but that is where I come to the bowling section. I do not have Josh Hazlewood. I think I'm going with Nuwan Thusara, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and Yash Dayal are my three seamers. Trump card last season was Swapnil Singh. I have him in my 11 alongside Kunal Pandya, and maybe you can have a little bit of Liam Livingston as your bowling option. I have two wicket keepers. One as a batter, Jitesh Sharma, and I think Phil Salt will be the one behind the stumps because his leadership could be important too.
Do you really need two wicket keepers? Is at times debatable. You can always go for left-hand option, as you said. Someone like Devdutt Padikkal if it's an Indian, or if you want to go overseas, Jacob Bethel can come in and give you some overs as well. So I think this is one area or one spot which can be rotated at times based on the conditions again. But one more guy, I'm not sure if it's an impact player, as you rightly said. Rasik Salamdar can also be a starter as well. Another guy who had a decent KPL, yes, from Karnataka, Manoj Bandage has been a very good shrewd operator at the back end of the innings as well, bowling those slow off cutters and a real big power hitter at the lower down the order as well. I think these are the guys, if they can be given a chance at the right time, I think that's where you can shine. But overall, I think 9 to 10 spots are pretty much agreeable. It's just that one spot at times, based on the condition and the opposition, we may have to make do with it, and the overseas slot as well. I think if you change one overseas, balance with the two Indians at times.
True that is where you need to be very, very thoughtful about that. But Utsav, I think RCB mainly picked up Jitesh Sharma because of his finisher skills. And if you talk about the 4 overs, I think they pick themselves. But in the top 6, there is no left-handers before Kunal Pandya. That's the reason why I mentioned about the floater. You really think they will think about somebody like a Devdutt Padikkal at number 4 and maybe not about Jitesh Sharma?
No. I think we have paid a huge sum of money to get both Jitesh and Phil Salt into the side. Both of them are probably beyond 10 crores at the price. And having said that, in the RCB had uploaded a mini series after the auctions, and they had Jitesh Sharma in the plans. I think they had Venkatesh and Jitesh Sharma in the plans. They went berserk for Venkatesh Iyer, couldn't get him, fortunately, at that price. But now we have Jitesh Sharma, and I think he is going to be an integral part of the side.
So you're saying it's a sticking to this 11, which I've gone with. Impact player can be according to the game situation, maybe Rasik Dar Salam or Suya Sharma. Predicted playing 11 is done and dusted. What about the predictions time now? Over to you guys. Season predictions is on the line. Rohan, over to you. Your orange cap holder, your purple cap holder, and who's your top 4?
Honestly believe, just like how Virat Kohli stepped up in that 2016 season, I think the king now has to move it to the prince. So I think Shubman Gill for me has to be the orange cap holder. If he has a very good IPL, that augurs well for Team India as well. End of the day, that's what counts. So I think Shubman Gill will be my pick for the orange cap. Purple cap, just a bit of a spinner's hat coming on. I picked someone like Varun Chakravarti to
Oh,
be the
what a
captain.
Champions Trophy he had. So no brainer.
Yeah.
Varun Chakravarti, I think it's the second time. I think Orko mentioned in the KKR video as well. Varun Chakravarti as his purple cap holder.
I'll start with Mumbai Indians. Just the power that they have. Yes, the leadership has been a bit confusing there, but just the record they have, you never go outside Mumbai. And on CSK as well. Yes, Mai isn't there, but Rutraj Gaikwad for the last season or two. But again, CSK never take them lightly and don't keep them down. I think these two will be sure shots. The others are all well balanced. Please don't ask me about RCB, though from the heart it says yeah, they should do, but sometimes the mind says bit tough for them, looking at the schedule and the newness to the team. Yes, I would certainly hope them be there and prove everyone of us wrong, but just the gut feel doesn't look so. Another team that I look at here will be someone like KKR as well, just the kind of balanced squad they have. And
Yeah.
just to go left field, DC has a pretty well settled squad this time.
Very good bowling attack.
But not sure how the owner's intervention can come in and all those blah blah things that has happened in the past. But on paper, they look a very well settled side. I'm not sure whether they can go all the way, but these four will be my picks. Yes, Sunrisers Hyderabad is a dark horse for me. Just the kind of batting firepower there, but the bowling is a bit iffy at times, and I'm not sure how much consistent they can be. But these four is what will be my picks.
Okay, these four are your picks. You've named your four teams. Utsav, over to you, please.
Yes, my orange cap, I'm not going to pass it on to the prince. I'm still sticking on to the king. Virat Kohli is my orange cap. 700 runs in the last season, despite having all those strike rate talks and then finishing at a 150 plus strike rate. I think he is here to stay for even another 3-4 year period. Virat Kohli for orange cap. For purple cap, you already mentioned that. Orko mentioned it in the KKR video. Rohan Bhai has mentioned him. Varun Chakravarti is someone I'm going to go for.
Oh, he remains constant.
It has happened quite a lot that the spinners have gotten a bunch of wickets taken the purple cap home. Imran Tahir has done it. Pragyan Ojha has done it. Yuzvendra Chahal has done it in the past. And this time Varun Chakravarti has a really good, opportunity to do it for himself.
If he could have played the two games in the Champions Trophy, he could have been the leading wicket taker as well for India. But what about your four teams?
My four teams, one thing that Rohan Bhai mentioned is having CSK in there. One thing that I'm going to mention is that, if MS Dhoni plays without, being the captain of the side, he has never won a cup in his life. Not saying anything. I'm not putting words into anyone's mouth. I'm just a random fact.
The comment section will surely flood now if you're saying no CSK in the top four. Who are your four teams?
CSK is not in my top four. My top four has RCB because I'm very, very hopeful of this team and obviously a lot of passion coming from inside. Sunrisers Hyderabad is one of the sides almost got through, just did not have, the answer to Mitchell Stark in the finals. Sunrisers Hyderabad gotten a little bit better from the last time, I would say. Definitely going to be a top four contender. Mumbai Indians obviously has to be there. What a great India score. And the fourth one is a little bit of a spicy pick. Haven't qualified since 11 years. I'm going with Punjab Kings. They have a good batting unit. They have a pretty decent bowling unit. Pretty good shout at making it to the top four.
Absolutely, it's a very, very good shout, I must tell you, because Ricky Ponting is there. Shreyas Iyer has been the leader as well, so that combination is back. Both of you have given your predictions. It's done and dusted. RCB, can they get one trophy at least in their cabinet? Because the women's have done it. Can the men's? Because they are desperate for that. Fingers crossed for both the fans. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this one. It's Royal Challengers Bengaluru squad done and dusted about this preview. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.